We are happy to invite Rabbi Abel from the United Kingdom, and he is here in Rotterdam in Beth Midrash El Avraham, and well, I'm happy to ask him some questions. Rabbi, can you tell me something about your background, your education, etc.?
Yes, certainly. Well, I was born in England, in Manchester, and my father comes of Lithuanian Jewish ancestry, and my mother herself grew up in North Africa in Tunis, moved to France, and they met in Israel. That's how I came to be. And I was educated in Manchester in the Jewish schooling system there, went on to university, and then after that to Jerusalem, to the Midrash Sephardi, to study ultimately for Semicha, and began my path with the leadership of congregations in Germany, then Liverpool, London, and now back in Liverpool again.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Have you any experience with welcoming to a broader audience?
Yes, in fact, I have discovered people with Jewish background or no Jewish background, but a great interest in wanting to learn from and live with the values that come from the Torah. And this happened from time to time in the early days of my ministry in London. However, in more recent times in Liverpool, we actually started doing some very grassroots work, not only in Liverpool but across Lancashire, particularly East Lancashire. Mm-hmm. And people have been coming out literally at a very dizzying rate from every corner, and each person has their own story, and it's amazing to discover, it's amazing to see just what a great thirst there is that people have, whether they have a traceable Jewish background of some kind or not, to know more about the Torah, about the Jewish people, the Jewish religion, tradition, and how that, of course, impacts on them and their own lives, their own backgrounds, and the future that they want for themselves in what is overwhelmingly a more and more secular society.
Hmm. And what if it turns out that their background isn't Jewish? What then?
Well, thankfully, gratefully, and this is the way I was taught by my father, that there are two traditions that have come with the Jewish people. Well, one, of course, is the Sinaitic tradition from Mount Sinai, where, of course, we were given the Torah, and this was specifically for the children of Israel and how we know it now as the Jewish people. But, of course, there is another tradition which is even older than that, and that is the children of Noah. And Noah is most famously known across the world as the biblical character that came out of the flood, and there are so many flood legends in every nation practically has a flood legend. We know it happened, but the question is, what happened next? And the book of Genesis, Bereshit, chapter 9, is quite clear that a moral code was given to Noah for him and his descendants to follow. The application of morality and such commandments became much more detailed and specified and specialized for the Jewish people, for the Israelites at Sinai. However, for the rest of the world, it continued. And what did happen at that point, and from that point onwards, as soon as the Jewish people was able to establish themselves, the tribes of Israel were able to live in Canaan, the promised land, it became their job, as they're told, as we are told in the book of Deuteronomy, forever, to be a kingdom of priests. And this means to be a light unto the nations, not just by moral example, but also by teaching the instructions that were given originally to Noah, promoting them, and also helping people to apply them in their own lives.